Hey, this is Retired Geek Woman, Adventures with Rhiannon, Stardew Valley 1.5, Retired Slow Play, part number 68. And you can see that we have over 223,000 in the bank, so that is great. We have some things to buy, but none of them are big things, so we won't be broke when we buy them. And I am so sorry. I wasn't trying to hurt little Harvey Jr. I hated that I wasn't paying enough attention to my keys, and it's like, oh my gosh, that looks terrible. But no, I would never hurt Harvey Jr. He's our little guy there. So we're gonna grab, as it's raining, we don't need to water the cat bowl, but we will get our chores done here, and we have a lot to do on this episode. In fact, it probably runs a little longer than I normally have been trying to shoot for. I've been trying to get it down to between 30 and 45 minutes per episode, and this one runs over that, but there's just so much that happened, and I had trouble figuring out where I wanted to cut it. So please stay with me. There's all kinds of really interesting things that we accomplish in this episode, so hang in there with me. And while I'm doing my morning chores here, I'll do my regular plug. If you have not done so, please subscribe to my channel. It does help YouTube like me better, and it lets me know that I'm doing something that other people find interesting or valuable. And so I do appreciate that. I appreciate each and every one of my subscribers. You guys are fantastic. I love your comments, and I do respond to the comments anytime I see them. Again, that's all affirmation that I'm doing something that other people are appreciating. So cool. We came in here and we first went to check on all of our animals in the barn, and now we picked all of our goodies up from the chickens and got our cheese maker and our mayonnaise machines going. Next, let's go into the greenhouse, and everything is beautiful in there. And so I noticed that our pickles are ready, or whatever it is that's in here. Pickled something. There's either pickles or jellies. Depends on what you put in it, a fruit or a vegetable. And it was pumpkin. All right, we're going to see how valuable those pumpkins are. I've been talking about main crops, what ones I choose, and then the fall it's pumpkins. And at the end of this night, you will find out why. That is a main crop for me. So again, I just kind of figured this out over the years and made lists. Oh my gosh, am I ever a list maker? I have Microsoft OneNote, which I've talked about a lot. It is a free download, so if you're interested in something like that, I think I did a review of that software program on a blog that I have. There is a link to my blog. I haven't updated it in a long time, but I didn't want to get rid of it because there's a lot of interesting information on my blog for anyone, not just seniors, but I did do a review and overview of Microsoft OneNote. So if you're interested in that, go check that out. But that's what I use for my brain in both my real life and in my gaming life. And as you saw there were strawberries that were ready to harvest and our oak resin. And if you happen to see that little peak down there, Robin is busy building our fourth and final fish pond. So these fish ponds are really going to be important to us. The first three are going to be propagating coral, which we use to combine with that oak resin that we just grabbed to make Deluxe Speed Grow, which I love Deluxe Speed Grow. And so the fourth one will be something else, and you'll see soon. This is our honey area. A lot of people do huge honey farms. I like to do a variety of things on my farm so I don't get bored. So there's a little bit of everything here, or everything that I enjoy playing. And so I make 12 jars of honey when it's ready. So I do love that. By the way, I saw this grass here, and I knew that our silos were a little bit low, and I thought, let's just get rid of this grass while they're walking by here. So we did that. You can see that it's putting hay. The number's going up, went up to 30. It automatically puts that hay in your silo if there is room in the silo for the hay, and I was pretty sure there was. Haven't decided when we're going to get more silos. Probably soon. It all depends on how many animals we have by the end of the fall season, or how many I think I'll have by the fall season, because each silo has a certain amount of hay in it, and I want to make sure that there's plenty to get us through the winter. So here's our fruit for the spring, fruits and vegetable. That's our fruit and vegetable chest for all the spring items. And I had popped a bean in there just to kind of make an extra bean. I didn't think I had one, and I didn't. So I want to go ahead and get that in there. And so there's a difference between the spring seeds and the other seeds that I keep in this chest and the fertilizer. So like grass starter, for instance, and the fiber seeds, and there's a number of things I like to keep in there. I like to keep them in a certain order to make it easier for me to find. I'm kind of an order type person, so everything has to be where I want it. And get that honey out of there. What the heck was I doing? Put it in there. And it was blue jazz honey, which is more valuable than regular honey, and that's why you see a flower down there. Each season will have its own flower that'll be there, and I know which ones make the more valuable honey, so that's why I put the blue jazz for spring. As you can see, we are getting our stuff ready to go to the mine. The purpose of the mine today is that we are out of stone, and I used the last little bit, except for a few pieces, to have Robin go ahead and start on that fish pond, but I don't like being completely out of stone. And really the fastest way to get stone in bulk is to come into the mine. And there's no reason to go any further down than I just popped. I could have gone over to the stairs and dropped down to level 1, but the elevator takes me to level 5, and that's absolutely fine. So that's, and the creatures that are in here are so easy for us now. I don't even have to think about it, especially on these the upper levels of the mine. So just going to gather as much as I can. So it's a good fast way. I do sometimes go to the quarry. I go down south of the house of the farm and go down in there close to the wizard's tower and places like that. That's a good place too if I only need a little bit, but we're completely out, so I wanted to get that stock back up again. And so the fastest way is to come in here. Look how much we already have. We're on level 5, which is the one we came in on, and we are already at 20 pieces, or right at 20 pieces of stone. And this level hasn't even been cleared yet. I did go ahead and bring that bomb, and there's a funny thread on the forums, which you can find a link to in the description of this video. The forums are a great place for information. There's some super people there that are more than happy to help if you have any questions about this game whatsoever. There's a funny conversation of big mistakes people have made, and ironically most of them involve bombs, and I won't say any more. I won't just give the description on why that happened, but I thought it was hilarious that it had to do with bombs, because I hate playing with bombs. First off, you have to make them, and it takes resources to do that, and secondly, accidents do happen. So, and it's really hilarious reading the accidents that people had regarding bombs. So I grabbed the one that I had in my chest, and all the bombs I've used, I haven't ever crafted any of them. I wanted to get that bug meat real quick. It's like, yeah, we need some of that. So I've never crafted them. I'm just using bombs that I've gotten by killing creatures and stuff. So I just think it was a very funny thread, and I just thank them for pointing out all the reasons that I don't like using bombs. I really love these big slabs of stone, like this one right here coming up. Let's see, there were 2. Look at that, 12. So now I believe that was either like 10 pieces of stone with one big slab of stone that I just chopped up. So awesome on that. And you got to have a bigger, I can't remember if it's this axe or the one previous to it that you have to be able to hit those big pieces of stone. And in the very beginning, if you do recall, we had some of those on our farm, so we had to upgrade our axe to be able to get rid of those. So all the reasons to do that. So I want to point out something that I find funny and rather annoying. We had spent I don't know how long trying to get green algae and seaweed, and look at that. I found 3 pieces of green algae in the first 2 levels of this mine. So it's kind of funny and annoying at the same time, but we'll go put that away. And I don't have any knowledge of needing it for anything, but I also didn't have any knowledge of needing it for the fish ponds either. So now I'm going to start hoarding that. We'll find a place to tuck it away so that for a rainy day or whatever, we don't know what we'll need it for. So as you can see, we're doing pretty good. We've got over 100 stone, and that's only 2 levels of the mine so far that we've been in today. And of course slimes, but you know what, we needed some slime anyway, so I'd rather get it from these easy guys than the tough ones. So we'll go ahead and get it. And this was an infested level, by the way. That's why there's so many slimes. So I guess we needed it anyway, no big deal. When you hit an infested floor of the mine, you have to kill every creature on the level to be able to get stairs like that. So it said a way down has appeared. So no big deal. Just had those crab guys and some easy slimes. So we'll take easy any day of the week. I went ahead and took my carrot. That's just for my energy level and only gave me 30, but I got a little ways to go and I didn't want to get too low down on my energy. Again, using any of your tools except for your sword takes energy, so I didn't want my energy to get down too far, and I wanted to continue working and put those in air quotes that you can't see as long as I can, so that I can get as much stone as I possibly come here. Things, as you can tell, those things do not bother you unless you get in their path, and I was having trouble getting in the path of them. So anyway, just kind of getting rid of all this stuff. I decided to go ahead and down. I was hoping to find more of those great big stone slabs. Looks like I got a bomb from something else, so we're gonna go ahead and bomb that area right there, just because it was like a nice cluster. And let's see how much we got. We ended up with 14 copper, 8 stone. So we got a whole lot more copper than stone, but that's okay. We'll use that eventually, and we need it. So you can see it's just cranking up. That's pretty awesome. Oh, good. There's 2 of these big slabs down here. So after we kill that thing and got us some more green algae, how annoying. We're going to go ahead and just get these smaller pieces out of the... Oh, there's another one. So there's like 3 of those big stone slabs. So awesome. And let's see what we get. 10. So each of those, that's going to represent 30 pieces of stone. So this is a great level for getting stone. So not too bad. And quite a bit of copper, which you do get in the upper parts of the mine. And again, I don't really necessarily need more copper, but we'll use it eventually. So we'll go ahead and tuck that away with everything else. But this is getting our stone supply up so that I'm not feeling anxious in case I need it for anything. We had been using this stone for the pathways on the farm with the cobblestone pathways. Eventually, not now because I'm not ready to do it yet, we're going to replace all of those pathways with the weathered wood pathways, which I think look a lot better, but I wasn't ready to do the same thing and go through all the wood that we have to make those wooden pathways. So for now, we'll stick with what we got. Later we will change it because I think it looks a lot better. So coming up in this episode, we do a time to do a progression screenshots. So I've done this in the past and I'll continue doing it. Along the way, I took a screenshot of day 1 of this farm, and so you can if you look back on that very first video, you will see what it looked like on day number 1. Then I do a new screenshot and show where we are at the present day, and then I also show what it will eventually look similar to. If you haven't listened to previous videos, I have played this game. I have two saves. One is like a test save. Then I've got an 11-year farm. That was my main game that I have played for quite a few real life years, and it's 11 in-game years. I show what that looks like because that's very similar to what this farm will look like. So it's kind of showing you where we've been, where we are, and where we've headed. So later in this video, I'm going to be showing that. So please stay tuned so you can see how much progress we've made. I think it's very satisfying to look back and see all the work that we've done and where we've been, and I just love that. I think that's really a useful tool. I do that kind of thing in real life too. Where did that thing come from? I think it's real good to do that in real life too. Just say, okay, how far have I come and where am I going? So I think that's a great thing to do. So we'll be seeing that later in this video. It's 11:30 p.m. I hate being out late at night. The mines are okay, but I'd really rather be in bed around 10 o'clock. But sometimes I'll make an exception, such as this. You can see how much we got. We got well over 200 pieces of stone. So that makes me feel pretty good about where we're at with the stone. I think, like I said, I don't have any major use for it that I'm aware of, but look at that, I only had 4. So that makes me feel a lot better that we've got some in our thing there. And we'll do that a few more times, just to make sure our stash is sufficiently padded, just in case we need it for whatever. I did notice that it was getting late, but our wine is ready. So I really wanted to get our next wine batch pulled real quick and redone. That was salmonberry wine, and we're making salmonberry wine, so that's no big deal. At this point, we're going to make various wines, and eventually we're going to be using crystal fruit mostly, but I also like to do other ones sometimes too, because once we make the wines and we take them to the cellar, it takes quite a few days to make our wine. I think I said this recently in a recent video. It's something like 54 days to take wine from regular quality to iridium quality, and that's a lot of days. And eventually we'll be making wines at a much faster pace, to the point where that storage chest we have down there was going to be packed. By the way, take a quick look here. Pickled pumpkin. We just made 14,490 gold on 21 jars of pickled pumpkin. And that, my subscribers, is why pumpkins are my fall crop. That is a lot of money for 21 jars of pickled anything. So that really padded our bank account. We're at 241,000. And good morning, Harvey Jr. I didn't hit you in the head. That's awesome. And good morning, Harvey. How's it going? So say good morning to everybody in the house before we head off to wherever we're going. So oopsie doops, I forgot to put the wine away, and I forgot to figure out where I'm going to put that green algae. Not sure yet where that should go. Again, we're going to keep it. Oh, I already had some algae in here, I see, so that's probably where it'll end up. If I could click the right buttons. Ugh, I hate clicking the wrong buttons. So we're going to come up here and pet our kitty cat. Good morning, Furball. How you doing? And for iridium ore, free. Didn't have to work at it. 267 on the hay. So I was right that we're pretty low on that. Again, it's no big deal. The only time I start worrying about it is when we get almost through fall, and it needs to be completely full by then, because our beautiful animals that can come out and then eat the fresh grass, which supposedly makes them happier, haven't got that proven at any time, they will be inside the whole winter. So we need to make sure that they have plenty of hay to eat in the winter time. So for now, though, I like to bring them out here into the beautiful grass area that we created and kind of rotate them out. As you can see, I planned an area for these 2 buildings to be full. Each one can hold up to 12 animals. We only have 3 in the barn, so eventually there's going to be 12 in there. I don't know when that will happen, so I'm kind of planning for that. That's why those grass areas are so large. They need to be able to feed the animals through an entire season. So kind of just checking out here what we're going to put in our mayonnaise machine. We did duck mayonnaise last time, regular mayonnaise this time, no big deal. Just keep it cranking. Every little bit is money in our pocket. And of course, our morning check of the greenhouse. And oh, look how beautiful. We have got star fruits ready. So awesome. That whole area there is going to encompass 24 star fruit plants. And the other 3 are the ancient fruit. And I want to mention this because those ancient fruits will stay there forever. When you pull the fruit off of them, the plants stay behind, which is why ancient fruit is considered the most valuable fruit in the game. You can gel them, you can put them in wine kegs, and you can put them in casks to age them, and it is a huge money maker down the road. So the star fruit per wine, per aged wine, if you take it the price point between aged wine and it's the star fruit versus the ancient fruit, star fruit is more. The downside is you just saw me pull those plants up, so now I've got to go propagate those into seeds and replant them. So a lot of people don't bother with the star fruits because of that, but I'm a little different on that. I like variety, and I love it when I can pull a whole batch of star fruits out of the cellar and put those in the shipping bin. It's an exciting day when that happens because the money is just crazy. So you can see I've got quite a few different wines. Once the star fruits start making wines for us, if those are still there, then I'll probably pull them out and put them in the shipping bin, because there's no need to age them if I have more than enough ancient fruit to start aging those. But for now, we're going to leave those there. I think I've got some, I know I have some wines that are aging. I've been doing cheeses mostly. As you can see me replacing the things with cheeses, replacing the ones that are ready with cheeses, because they take a lot less time than the wines. And right now, well, at this point, I wanted to get the money going quick. So that's why I did that. Eventually, we're going to make more casks and fill that cellar with as many as we can get in there, and then each row will be one thing. So one row will be cheeses, other rows will be wines, and so that way when they're done, they'll be done all at the same time. So I'll get that more synchronized as time goes on. I just grabbed some Deluxe Speed Grow, and I'm putting my star fruits back into the seed makers so we can get some star fruit seeds. I want to get those growing as fast as we can. Again, there will be 24 growing at all times, and when they're done, I'll pull them out and we'll stick them in the seed maker and just keep making more and more. We do need to gather or collect 9 of the star fruits to take to the wizard to make the Junimo huts. And the reason for the Junimo huts is for the Junimos to live there, and what they do is harvest your crops. It's a huge, huge game changer when we add those. So we need 9 star fruits per Junimo hut. They do not have to be the same quality. I verified that today on the wonderful forums that you should definitely join. So I verified all we need is 9. I'm not sure how many huts we need. I think probably at least 2, but I'm going to look at the layout. I'm pretty sure my previous blueprint there was 2. They cover a certain area, and I don't have any mods or anything that says it's X number of spaces or anything like that. So we will see. We will see how we get that going there soon, and it's coming soon. I want to probably get this whole area built out at least a day before the 28th, or a day before if possible. As you can see, our beautiful fish pond down there is ready. So Robin finished that up. So what we need to do is run up here and get what we're going to put in it. As I mentioned before, only 3 of them are going to be coral. Oh, look at all that beautiful oak resin. Makes me happy. So I'm looking at the different ones, and I had researched which ones gave us something I'm looking for, and I chose the rainbow trout, and you will see what happens. Let's let that be a surprise. You can search for the fish ponds on the wiki, and you can see which fish give what. And so I just threw a rainbow trout in there, and now I need to go make a sign for it. You don't have to do that, but I like to know what's in there. It's like, and I'm not going to forget. It's just, I think it's kind of a cool mechanism. It's like the signs that are in front of the sheds, the wine shed and the preserve jar shed. It's cool. So that's the only reason for it. And I also thought that what I would do is empty out all of the coral ponds and show you guys how that mechanism works, because we have not shown that before. So I also wanted to put down a few more cobblestone paths to make kind of flesh out the area. I was short a few, I think, the last time I did that. So anyway, just kind of doing a little bit of farm maintenance here. In case you haven't played or seen, here, let's put this sign. Let's show what happens when you do this. Oh, I'm sorry. I had to finish my cobblestones first. It's like, okay, I got to have cobblestones down in between so you can walk better. If you haven't played before, you walk faster on pathways, so it's another reason to have them. I mean, they're not an absolute have to, but also it makes your farm look better, in my opinion. So I'm going to put the sign there. Bink. As soon as I had put the sign there, it showed what was in the pond. If I had put the sign before that I had done that, then it would show up. It's the same with the ones that I did the signs up on the sheds. Okay, let's look at this real quick. And look at them. There's 7 of them. I'm changing tracks here, but I want to show you. All you do is fish and click. And you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait till it says there's anything on it. You just click and you just click, click, click. And I just click through it until there's only 1 left. And I leave 1 in there. And the other ones, it'll just start propagating again, and there'll be more in here. So done. All right. Move on to the next one. So I love it that I can let these sit for a few days and end up with plenty of coral for my deluxe speed grow that I am addicted to, which I love. So it's a great fertilizer to help things speed along. Deluxe speed grow gives you 25% faster growth. You can see the rainbow population is 1 of 3. It says they're happy. That will increase over time. I want to go back to the signs that I put on the shed in case you haven't watched a previous episode, and like, why not? And that was a mistake right there I just made, so I got to put that coral back in there. Oopsie doo. The signs outside the sheds, I could have anything on that sign I want. You can use them for anything. So if you've got rows of things that you're planting, you can actually put signs on those rows just like you would in a real garden. And you could put anything on the sign, any vegetable, anything that you want to have. What I'm doing here is you can change the appearance of these fish ponds. So that's kind of what I was doing here is I wanted my coral fish ponds to have a different look than the rainbow trout fish pond. And there's no real reason for that. It's just an aesthetic thing for me. And it's like, okay, I want this. And you really can't see what you're changing it to. It's kind of a poor design there. You just click it and then look at it. And if it's not right, you have to click it again. So I really don't like that design mechanism, but I love it that I can change my fish ponds to have a slightly different look based on what is in it. So I'm looking here and say, okay, that looks right for those 3, and this is one that I want to be different. So basically I'm clicking and saying, yeah, it looks a little different. There we are. That's good enough for me. I was like, all right, that's good. I'm good. Oh my goodness. So it's always something, but it's fun to have these customizations on your farm, these signs and the fish ponds, and this is truly a sandbox game. You hear that said about a lot of games, and sometimes it's not 100% accurate. It's different. It's not quite, meaning you could do all of it or none of it. You don't have to do any of these tasks. You can just build your farm, or you can have a pig farm, or you can have a fish pond farm. I've seen people do that. You can do whatever you want. So for my purpose and for this playthrough is that I'm going to do 100% completion. Later on in this series, you will see how exactly we can find out how much completion we currently have. So that is where I am going with this playthrough. I have never done that before. In my 11-year playthrough, I think I'm at 86%. So I will be finishing 100% completion with you guys. So there's things that I have not seen before, and that's not normal for me. Normally I'm playing games I've played a lot or know a lot about them. In this case, I'm not. I am playing things I've played before, obviously, but I've forgotten so much of it. What I'm doing here is planting the rice shoots. If you plant rice shoots along a water area, you don't have to water them. And this gives us unmilled rice. So that's kind of cool. And you can fit 7 right along the top of this pond. This is the standard farm layout. And so you can put 7 right along the top there. Eventually this whole area down here will be decorated, and it looks really cool when you do it. I'm getting rid of the hay that's nearby so that it doesn't accidentally grow into those rice shoots if I'm not paying close enough attention. And I also thought it may be a good idea to start doing some cleanup here so that I can see what I'm doing. The trees keep coming out here. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this area down over here. I got all these mushroom trees that grew, and I've been leaving them there to propagate themselves, but I honestly haven't decided. You can look at my 11-year farm. We'll show that upcoming in this episode, where you can see what that looked like. I don't know if I'm going to do the same thing there or not. I haven't made up my mind. So it also wanted to mention that prior to version 1.5 of this game, the only way to get mushroom trees to grow in other areas of your farm is to let them propagate themselves. So if you cleared the area around the mushroom tree, it would drop a mushroom seed right on the area next to the previous tree. So if I want to move those trees to the left, I have to grow them towards the left, which is kind of what's happening on its own. But as of 1.5, later in the game, much later in the game, we could purchase mushroom seeds and put the trees exactly where we want them. Fantastic upgrade with 1.5. I can't believe the amount of content. I've said that before, so this is not a memory issue of me saying it again. It's me just saying it again. It's just an amazing update to the game. And the mushroom seeds were in that upgrade, so update. What am I saying? Upgrade or update? Update, I guess it is. So anyway, I was just kind of cleaning out some of these trees, and I don't know for sure where I'm going to put things, but I'm kind of thinking about it. I've taken some screenshots of the where we're currently at, which I'll be showing later in this episode, and then we can kind of decide what goes where. So just kind of looking along here, doing a little bit of cleanup. And we got a ways to go, but boy, have we come a long way. As you can see, it's getting a little bit dark. I really don't like being out here. I don't like playing in the evening times just because it is so dark and I can't really see very well. So I figured it's probably time to cash it in for the day. And look at all the wood that we got. So that's pretty awesome. Our wood is in nice stock right now. And our iridium ore is really coming along, so I thought, well, let's keep that thing cranking and go get that diamond. It's like diamonds are 750 value each one, so I was very happy that we ended up with that diamond, and I'm gonna pop that in our shipping bin. I've saved, I think, 5 diamonds. You never know when you're gonna need them for anything, and right now they're propagating, and money is the most important thing. Later on in later game, we'll have another gem that we need, but for now, we're going to stick with the diamonds. I'm glad that we have our money being built up as well as it is. And so now it's bedtime, I think. It's after 11. It's later than I like to get in bed, but that's okay. And so let's see what we ended up with. And along with our diamond there and the other little things, 2100 overnight. So that's pretty cool. So we are now on the 20th day of spring in year number 3. That means we have 8 more days in the season. We have 243,000 in the bank. That's fantastic. Say good morning to our little Harvey Jr. there. Oh, we got cauliflower ready. Oh, look at this. We got a 500 gold check from the Stardew Valley Agricultural Fund. Mayor hopes we'll spend it on seeds. Unfortunately, he's probably right. So just kind of rearranging my tools here and grabbing the things we need to get our morning chores done. And let's see. Oh, we got some more iridium ore ready. Good morning, Kitty Cat. Oh, I guess Harvey watered your bowl. I didn't know that. I didn't see him anywhere. So generally, if he's done that, he'll say I've watered. He said something about I've watered the pets or whatever. I've watered the farm animals, which is funny because he doesn't water anything else. So I don't know what he means. Who knows what Harvey means? So we'll come down here and say a quick good morning to everyone. Basically, to do that quickly, I hold my right mouse button down and just move my mouse along with my character as we're walking. And that shows a heart above everyone that I'm giving attention to. I can't seem to get the area straight for milking. It's a real pain sometimes, especially when we're in this field here where the grass is high. We can barely see our own self, let alone the animals. So it's really hard to make sure that I don't miss anyone. But I'd rather have them out here and have that problem than have them cramped inside the the barn and coop all the time. You can do that. You can leave your animals inside the barn and coop all the time, but I feel like I have happier animals because of the way I choose to play. And look at all these dinosaur eggs. So thank you, dinosaurs, all of you. Dinosaur, in case you haven't watched any previous episodes, the dinosaur mayonnaise is the most valuable. Then duck and then chicken eggs. So that's kind of the order of the value. I do keep a duck around for duck feathers and duck eggs. And I do keep a chicken around because they give, actually have two right now, because they give eggs every day. So it keeps my egg supply up. Ducks are every other day, and then dinosaurs are every 7 days. And look at all those beautiful plants. Eventually, what we'll end up doing is I'll let the ancient fruit plants sit until they are all ready, and then harvest them all at once, and then it will get them on a schedule of being the same. So that's kind of how I like to do it. And we've got some cheese that has been aged to iridium quality. So I was very excited about that. I believe there were 7. So I'm going to put 7 more cheeses in there. Yes, yes, yes. So my goodness, that's going to give us some good money, as we will see tonight. And after we go to bed. So that's cool. That's going to help the bank account some more. And like I said, we don't have huge expenses, but we have a whole bunch of moderate sized expenses. So for now, let's run down and grab all of the fruits and vegetables that are ready. And I think we've got, we had some rhubarb that was ready, so that's fantastic. So to harvest that quickly, what I'm doing is holding my mouse button down and just moving it as I move along. And it's harvesting pretty quickly. Now, hopefully, if things go right next season, that won't be an issue because the Junimos will harvest for us. So that's going to be very exciting. For right now, this is a very quick way to get harvested. Now, keep in mind that whatever we plant in here only has 8 days that it can grow. So we're going to have to really look at that if we're going to plant anything. And I really want to make use of my planting areas and get more produce as I can, as much as I can. So we're going to go take a look at that. So awesome on all that. Look at all that beautiful cauliflower. And that is our #1 crop for the springtime. And let's see here. We've got cauliflower that takes 12 days, so that's too long. Potatoes take 6 days, and kale takes 6 days. And so we're obviously going to plant potatoes. That's kind of like my go-to crop the rest of the season here. And we'll do some kale and, oh yeah, parsnips and garlic. Parsnips are 4, garlic are 4. So these are things that we can use for fill-in. Again, I don't necessarily want a ton of those things because they don't make as much money, but I like to have the variety. That really is the most important things to me, is having variety. Main crop, and I call them main crop, and then secondary crop, and sometimes what's a third one? A third crop. I'm reorganizing this because it's bugging me, so that's what that's about. And then I realized the cauliflower is out of order. Okay, we'll get it right. And so you can see how much we have. We'll be able to make pickled cauliflower with some of that, and then we should have hopefully way sufficient amount to make seeds. That's the whole plan there. So we're just going to kind of run along here and plant as much as we can of these items. These are my potatoes, and again, I don't know how much this will fill in. I'm going to try to fill in as much as I can to be able to have plenty of that late season crop. Boy, look at that. That looks fantastic. I still have 14 left, so that's a good thing that we're getting these in. We got, if they are ready in 6 days, which I think will be less than that with our deluxe speed grow, we may be able to plant something else to get the rest of the season. So that's fantastic. I'm really excited about that. As you can see, this is only maybe a quarter of the size of the planting area that we are going to end up with hopefully next season. That's going to probably require us to buy stuff from Pierre, but you know, it is what it is. I just don't have enough of the crop. I think it's melon is the main crop for summer. I don't believe I'm going to have enough to fill this whole area with, and that's what I want to do. Melon jelly and wines sell for quite a bit. So coming back here to see what I have, what else I can pop into the ground, and if I need to propagate any more seeds. Obviously cauliflower is done for the season. Obviously you don't want to plant any strawberries because they won't grow in time. So you know, I thought, man, I'll just go ahead and take a few extra garlics and potatoes, and because we have 6 days of those, and we'll have plenty. You use garlic for cooking, and we're not going to do a lot of cooking. I've never enjoyed doing a lot of cooking, but to do 100% completion, you have to cook one of every recipe. So eventually we'll need it, but obviously you don't need all that garlic. But occasionally you get them for quests. We'll get someone that wants a garlic, and so we'll just keep going with that, just because it's something I can grow that only takes a few days. So that's the purpose for that. I want to take a moment to give my almost per episode disclaimer about my beautiful new kittens. They are absolutely adorable. They are noisy. When I started this episode, they were sleeping, and I thought, oh good, they're asleep. That's fantastic. And then they woke up. Oh my gosh. And they are kittens. They are still babies. They have not been spayed or neutered yet, so they are quite active, and they make noises. And so my son is a professional sound engineer, and his sounds would be perfectly quiet. Mine are not. So I do not wish to go back and re-record everything, because I would be spending 3 hours on each episode just because of their noise. They do drive me a little crazy, but they're so cute. So if you want to see pictures of them, you can head on over to my community tab. I have all kinds of information there, so you should be checking it often. I do announcements on the community tab. I do polls where I want my subscribers' opinions about things. I have posted pictures of my kitties. And lately what I've been doing is giving previews of upcoming episodes so that you can know what's coming up the following week. You will see it first on the community tab. And right now my plan and goal has been to post that on Saturdays, only available to people that go to the community tab and click the link. And then it becomes public on Sunday. So if you want a preview and you want to be first to see that preview, then head on to the community tab and check it out. Also on my main page, you can check out my About tab. The About tab tells my upload schedule, and I keep this up to date. So currently I am uploading Stardew Valley on Mondays and Fridays at 11 a.m. American Eastern Time. Then on Wednesdays, I'm uploading Kenseed at 11 a.m. American Eastern Time. So that's what I'm currently doing. If that ever changes, I'll make an announcement on the community tab, and I will change it on the About section. So that's where you can kind of keep track of what's going on. I suggest that you do check that from time to time. And if you want to know what's coming up on my videos for the following week, go check it out. It's something that I'm trying to see if you guys want me to do that. If you don't care, you don't want me to do that, just tell me. But I thought it might be something interesting for those of you who are busy, and you might want to say, hey, I gotta see that. I want to make sure I check that out. So thank you so much, by the way, all you subscribers. You guys are so important to me. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Just hit that subscribe button. It really does mean a lot. So As you can saw that we went and saw Clint real quick, and now we got other things that we're going to do. One thing is that around the edges of the entire planting area, I want to put this gravel path. And the purpose for that is twofold. First off, it makes sure there's nothing growing in the way. And secondly, it designates the area a little bit so that you can see, I'm trying to figure out which tool I need to knock these sprinklers away. I can put the sprinklers and the scarecrows and all that kind of thing in that gravel path, and it kind of separates things and designates it just a little bit better, if that makes any sense. So I'm getting ready, I'm preparing the area that I'm getting ready to put that down. I was looking at those sprinklers again. I think that there's things not getting the right amount. I don't have my sprinklers put in the correct place yet, but I'm working on that, getting to that. So that's why I'm kind of looking around and trying to figure out exactly what I need to do. So as you can see, we are going to go to the mines again to get some more stone, which I just don't want to run low. I was looking at the time of day too. It's 4:30, or it was 4:30 and I left the farm. And I thought, you know, what can I make use of really quickly here? Let's go to the quarry. We can check ahead. It had been a while since I had checked the quarry, and I thought, well, let's go down here, and you never know when you're going to get something really valuable here. It happens all the time. So it had been a while, and I could get some real quick stone. I didn't know how much I could get, but I thought I'd check it out anyway. Also, you can get artifacts here. Artifacts are things that you need to turn into Gunther if you haven't watched the episode or played the game before. And you can get them a number of ways. And one of the ways, if you see, I call them the wormy thingies, but they're called artifact spots, and they look like little worms in the ground. And that's another way you can get artifacts. So I didn't get quite enough stone there, and there wasn't as much as I had hoped. So I thought, all right, let's go down level 5 and start banging around on the stones. Last time we got well over 200. I think it was over 250 stone in just a few minutes. So I thought, let's go down there and do that real quick. And we need the slime, as I've mentioned before. So we're just going to hang out here and go check out the stone collection area. I don't know what else to call this. No, I don't have any bombs on me, and that's okay. Like I've mentioned many times, no thank you on the bombs. I do not wish to blow myself up, which I have done before. So instead, we're just going to collect our little bit at a time with our time that we have in the day. So, and I did not bring any food, so I definitely won't let my health get down or my energy get too far down, and I won't let it get too late. So again, just some quick stone collection. We weren't out, but I just thought, let's just go get some. Hopefully I can get some of those nice big large stone nodes that give us 10 stone each. That's what I'm hoping to find. So we'll see. And I very quickly switched to my sword and ran right into a slime. Ugh. I do think I have a vampire ring on. With the vampire ring, what it does is it pulls a little bit of health from a creature that you've killed. So if they take some of your health, so you can see that guy hit me, but my health is still right. I think it's near the, if it's not at the top, it's very near the top. And that's because my vampire ring grabbed some of the health of the creature that I killed. So that's one reason why I really like that ring. Rings can come into big time play in late game. So it's very important that you hang on to all of these rings that we find. I think I've sold a few that I knew that weren't going to be needed. But they become very interesting later on. So stay tuned for that in future episodes when we get into that part of the game. So if you're thinking, oh, you're getting bored, oh, just wait. There is so much more interesting stuff upcoming, and I cannot wait to share it with you. I will not spoil it. If this is the first time you've watched one of my videos, I know that if you haven't played the game, then everything you're watching is spoiling it for you. But I'm not going to tell you about upcoming things and spoil it that way. You'll just have to wait and see. So that's kind of how I play. I don't tell you about it because that would ruin the surprise. There's so many cool things that happen that you would not have known about. So I don't want to tell you, hey, this is going to happen, and then you have to watch 20 episodes to see it happen. That's no fun. But occasionally I'll do a little teaser. So there you go. So gonna go ahead and get that bug that's flying around. Bug meat is used to make bait, so that's a useful thing. That's a earth crystal, so we're gonna grab that. That is also a resource that we haven't used much, but it is a resource, so we're gonna hang on to those and not get rid of them. Most of the minerals I'm gonna keep 5 of each one. Earth crystal is an exception to that, as well as jade. So stone, stone, stone. How we doing? Almost got 100 stone already. We're only on 2 floors, so that's pretty fantastic. So that's what I was hoping for. It's getting a little bit late. I was hoping to pop over 100. We'll see here. I don't want to get into too much fighting and stuff, so that's why I'm staying on these upper floors. It's just the stone that I'm interested in. Oh, good. I got stone out of a barrel. That's awesome. Normally I would be grumping because I want to get something special, but stone, that's what we're here for this time. So you can see the most time-effective way to get stone. Really, the mine is the best option. And I don't like coming in here just because I do have to deal with the creatures, even though they're really easy for us at this point. And we get really good stuff. We've got an amethyst and slime and copper and all kinds of things. But time-wise, I mean, the short period of time I've been in here, and by the time we leave, we should have 100 stone. And so that's not too shabby for the time period that you spend. So it's a good way to go, and it's not such a big deal. It's getting kind of late though. It's 11:20. And thinking, okay, you know, I hate being out this late, and when I do bother to check the clock, then I'm freaking out at the time because you gotta get in bed. Really by 1 o'clock you need to get in bed if you want to get your same energy. And then it's like, oh my gosh, it was a big one. That's a 10. Look at that, 10 in one hit. And then I see the note, it's getting late. And it's like, you know, you're right, it is. If you get in bed by 1, you get all your energy back the next day. If you get in bed at just before 2 o'clock, or if you don't get in bed by 2 o'clock, you'll pass out. So not only do you lose time, you lose money, or lose energy, you lose money. And that really, really sucks. I hate losing money because I didn't pay attention to the time. And I've done it. You've seen me do it before, and I will continue to grumble about it to myself because it's very annoying that happens. But it is what it is. It's one of the game mechanics, and it's, it is what it is. So I'm just kind of organizing myself real quick here. Think, okay, I can really quick, I've got 30 in-game minutes to get all this stuff put away, and I was counting up, okay, I have this many of this many, I can sell that, and sell it really, really, really quick. 30 in-game minutes isn't very long. I think, if I'm not mistaken, is it 10 seconds per 10 minutes? I don't know. I can't remember. I play so many different games with different time things. I forget from time to time. But here we are, the 20th day of spring, at the end of 20th days of spring, and we got, look at that, cheese and mayonnaise gave us, what, 5 grand? That's fantastic. So 5,000 gold in our bank, which is fantastic. And now we're on the 21st day of spring in year number 3. We have almost 250,000 gold in the bank, so we're sitting pretty well on our money department. And of course we say good morning to our family and give them all love. And then we're going to go ahead and see what's up. Look at all these beautiful plants growing, and we've only got 7 more days to get things grown and harvested. So hopefully everything will, and we won't lose any seeds. I hate that when it happens. But sometimes I don't think very well, or I don't count very well. I don't pay attention very well. Oh, look at that, 2 iridium ore. Any iridium ore is awesome. That's from our Statue of Perfection. Thank you so much, Grandpa. That gift that keeps on giving. And so because I had gone up there, I thought, well, I'll just get rid of the things that I got. When I go up to the top now, since I'm getting the iridium ore, I got to run past the ore box anyway. So I went ahead and dropped that off and drop off the watering can since I just used it. And now we're going to say hello to all of our animals and give them all their morning love and gather the milk and the out here anyway, and inside the coop we'll grab all of the eggs and things that get left for us. So we appreciate you guys. I hate it when I'm holding my mouse down to look at the animals and I accidentally get close to one of those gates, because if you're not paying attention and you flick it too many times, it'll break the gate. So you have to replace it really quickly. It goes in your backpack, but still it's like, oh my gosh, don't get out while I'm trying to fix this stupid gate. So you got to watch that, because it'll flick it open shut, and then it'll go bam and it breaks. It's like, okay. So we got a rabbit's foot. I always feel really guilty about the rabbit's foot because it's a rabbit's foot and it comes from the rabbit. Did he have a spare foot? I don't understand the logic. I mean, that's kind of great and it's kind of awful at the same time. It's a rabbit's foot. It's like, okay. And we get them perpetually, forever. Our thumper will give us a rabbit foot on periodically. And we do have some ancient fruits ready. Yes! Yes, 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 yes. And you can see we don't need the seeds anymore because all of our plots for ancient fruit are planted. So anything that grows now can be put in our, where we're going to put them. Right for the beginning, I think we'll be putting them in the wine area. But I think that eventually we get so many, we'll start putting them both in the wine and the preserve jars. But for now, it's going to be all wines until we are overloaded with that. So that's super exciting. We're gathering up our salmonberry jelly and we're making blackberry jelly in its place. And that's what we had in our chest. We're going to have to check these chests soon to reload them with things that we want. I'm not quite ready to put more preserve jars or kegs in our sheds because we really don't have the produce to fill more than that. I'm keeping up with it, but if you put too many, then you don't have enough stuff to put in them, and I don't want to go there. So not yet, soon, because you can see how excited it gets when we put 21 of something that is high value, and the next morning the monies is like, wow, that is so cool. Very exciting when that happens. We do have one Iridium quality regular cheese ready. So we're going to dump that and all the other items we have into our shipping shed, which, if you haven't watched a previous episode or the first one, Mayor Lewis comes around at night and cleans out the shed. It's kind of a little bit creepy. And we've got some strawberries ready. All right. Getting a few more before the end of the season. Hopefully we'll get a lot more, but we'll see. And I think we have a green bean ready. No, I don't want to eat the strawberry. Move my cursor off of that. And yes, it's a green bean. So we don't have a ton of green beans. And I don't know that we need a whole lot more. I don't like them. I don't really want to propagate them. It's like, ooh, spring seeds, cool. I don't want to propagate them, but at the same time, I want to keep a few because you never know when you're going to need them for something. So I'll probably plant a few more, even though those trellises get in my way. So that gives me a total of 3 green beans, and it just annoys me that those trellises, you can't walk through them, they're in the way, it's kind of a pain in the neck, which is the reason why I end up with a total of 3 after 3 years. So we'll have to work on that next year, maybe plant half a dozen plants or something. And we can see here, are these ready? No, not quite. Just kind of look around, checking everything out, and oh, how beautiful is this? Did you see that? That was a rainbow trout. It populated another one. So there's 2 instead of 1. So that's awesome. And and I just saw it and I totally missed it. Off to the left, there was the sparklies in the water. You could pan for ore when that happens. So I hate it that I did not see that the first time. I probably shouldn't have mentioned it. I hate mentioning mistakes. That happened, but at the same time, it's when you're staring at a screen and when you're playing a game, your eyes are usually in one particular place, and so it would not have occurred to me to look off to the far left side of my screen and see those very hard to see little sparklies in the water. So anyway, gathering the things that I have put together, and it's time for the screenshot. Now we get to see our progression. So how I just showed you how you did a screenshot, then you open your destination folder and you can move it around. This is the before, this is day 1. This is now where we are. Look at this beautiful farm we have, and this is what it'll look like eventually probably. So wanted to do a little update there. This video is running a little bit long, and I do apologize. I did mention earlier in the video that I would be doing that. I wanted to give a nice longer look at those, but at the same time, you guys are more than welcome to pause it and go look. Another day perhaps we'll do a nice long one and talk about it. But I did want to give you a before and a during and a possible after, although the after one, you know, that's not my end game farm. I mean, that's not the end. What am I trying to say? That's an 11-year farm, and it's not the end of the game, because I'm going to keep going to, I will be keep going into the 100% completion. So that might change my farm layout. I don't know. Right now, I like that way that farm looks. And again, it was a combination of many farms that I looked at on the forums. I have mentioned a number of times the links that I do have in my videos that I hope that you find useful. I do have the official Stardew Valley webpage, and that's the page that Concerned Ape has and maintains, and that will give you any updates that are going to be happening or have happened, and other new interesting news about Stardew Valley. I also have a link to the wiki, which is fantastic. It has been filled in by people over for many years. You can find about anything you need to know about Stardew Valley right on that wiki. There's also the official Stardew Valley forums, which has amazing, great people to talk to if you need help, and just a great community of folks online. A lot of times you get on these groups and there's some people there that are not so cool. This is a cool, great group of people. What you see me doing there is I created, they're called the dirt pathways, which is the same ones that I used around the oak trees. So what I'm doing here is kind of laying out the edges of the planting area for the next season. Also double checking to make sure that there were none that got blown up by lightning in the ones that I already did. So I put an edge around there, and what will go on the edge is the sprinklers on the bottom edge, the scarecrows that'll be on the edge. It'll be all kinds of things, but that's kind of what I did last time. It seemed to help because I needed to make my area a little bit smaller, and I didn't want to make my pathways wider. And I kind of like the idea of having the dirt pathways around the edges. It kind of makes sense for a farm to do that. So that's why I went ahead and put that down while I was thinking of it. Again, we've got 7 more days to prepare for the upcoming season. That includes as many seeds as I can make. That includes preparing the area that we are going to expand the farm. I mean, there's lots of things that we need to do to get ready for the next season. And we've got time, but it's one of those things where you say, oh, I got time. Well, yeah, but maybe we should get on it, kind of thing. I do procrastinate. I am a procrastinator in real life, truly. So I don't want to be one in Stardew Valley too, and make mistakes here. So what I'm doing is I had totally forgot about this thing called a worm bin. And you know how we go to the mines and we when we're trying to kill the bugs for the worms and all that, you can have this worm bin and it produces bait on its own. I totally forgot about this thing that we could already, I don't know where we got the recipe or when, but I forgot about it. And what reminded me of is when I was looking at the 11-year farm screenshot, I saw it. I thought, wait a minute, I haven't made that. Can I make that? And I could. So now you see it's pulsating. It makes bait. So I put it right next to the fishing. There's like a fishing box down here. Everything's going to be moved eventually from the edge of the house and put in better places. The fishing chest is one of those. So I'll have the fishing chest. Eventually I need 2 chests for all the fish that I collect. And then the one chest that is, I call it the crustaceans or something. I'm just kind of putting some lights around the area until I can get the recipe for making torches. And so this is that'll be kind of the fishing area, even though I don't really fish here. I need to bring back my crab pots down here, but that's where I put the worm bin, so we'll kind of have everything together down there. And so again, what I'm doing is just kind of putting some of these torches around. Eventually we'll get a recipe for some really nice lighting that I love to use outside, but right now it's pretty dark around these areas, and we do have a glow ring so things glow around us, but I wanted a little extra light here and there, so I got those from the recycling machine by putting certain items in there that make the torches. I don't want to spend resources making them, but since I have them anyway, I might as well use them until I can put better lighting. So eventually the place will be lit up pretty well and we can see a lot better. So I'm just kind of looking around here thinking, all right, where else could I put them? And I do like having them here at the exit where we kind of leave the area, and we'll just put those there. And that will also help remind me. They're kind of like place markers. That'll help remind me to put the torches there when we can make some torches. And I don't remember how or where we get that recipe from. So again, it's been such a long time that I've played at this level. I played this part of the game at this stage. I don't remember. So we're kind of exploring this together at this point, and learning things together because I've forgotten so much. So anyway, I thought I might clear this area out here a little bit. What I normally plant here is grass, just for the purpose of cutting down hay so that we can make sure the silos are full. But I just don't know this time. You can look at the screenshot that I did to see what I have done in the past. I don't know. I may do something different here. I'm thinking about it. So I don't know. I haven't made up my mind. So that's kind of fun. Not sure what I'm going to do, but I do know that I want to make sure that this area is cleared for whatever I decide to do with it. But I do want to make sure that our silos are in the fall are completely full, no matter how many silos we have. So I mentioned that earlier in the episode, that I need to make sure that I know I have more than enough silo space for the animals that we currently have. I just don't know how many we'll have at the end of this year, at the end of year 3, or at the end of fall of year 3, because that's when we need the silos. So we'll see. There's lots of options, lots of things we can do. I was just looking here at the resources I just grabbed. Look at that wood. Isn't that pretty? Now we have over 2,000 pieces of wood. It's almost time to put down the new flooring, but I decided to wait. I'm not going to do that yet. I got too many other things that we need to spend our resources on. So kind of double check. There's coal. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? So it's so cool that we can recycle our trash, with the exception of the Joja Cola cans. Maybe it's because they're actual cans of cola, I think. It's kind of gross when you think about it and you find it in the ocean, the rivers. I do not understand why some people decide to choose the side of the Joja Mart. Whatever. Everybody can do their own thing. So this is going to be the end of our day and the end of our episode. Thank you so much for following along. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel and give that video a like. And thank you again. I want to continue to thank my subscribers for supporting me. You guys mean so much to me because it helps give me affirmation that I'm doing something that other people find interesting. I love your comments. Keep it up. But the most important thing is I want you to have a wonderful rest of your day.